Many Democrats are hoping the party will replace President Biden and get some young blood in the race, prompting one contender to get a transfusion from local orphans.
I bet Bill has not had a good night's sleep for years. I mean, that's why he aged so bad. Like, a lot of people don't know this. Bill Clinton is only 37 years old. But she's just evil. Like, there's nothing like her.
Why would you even tweet that? Like, don't you have...
I think she just sits around in her evil lair whenever she runs out of Eye of Newt and Small Children to Boil. Oh. She then goes to X and just says whatever.
For years, Hillary Clinton has tried to turn every loss in politics into a big comeback story. But when Gutfeld and Tyrus show up, that whole idea falls apart in seconds. They cut right through all her excuses, blame games, and the big story she's been hiding behind for years. What's left isn't a brave hero. It's someone acting like she deserves everything just because of her family name. The second they call her out, everything becomes super clear. Hillary's story isn't one of winning. It's a sad story about failing and pretending it's success.
Registered voters said any Republican would be better than President Biden, prompting one woman to legally change her name to NE Republican.
Just every time she talks, you kind of get why Bill did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, it's kind of like, again, I don't condone, cheating, but that's your morning.
Yeah.
You gotta kiss that before you go to bed at night, and then you gotta sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
Because your buddy Epstein off.
Watching Gutfeld and Tyrus go after Hillary Clinton is like seeing a team of wrecking experts knock down an old, shaky tower. Every time they speak, it hits harder than before, leaving no fake image standing. Hillary isn't just another politician. She's become a symbol of rich arrogance, a walking example of someone who thinks she's meant to rule. If politics had a funny blooper reel, her career wouldn't be a short clip. It would be the whole movie, a long highlight of overconfidence crashing into hard reality.
That's good.
This might be, in my opinion, the worst thing she's ever said, because we know New York City subways. Kids don't take the subway.
I mean, if you do, you're like, whose kid is that?
Yeah, there are men on there who set fire to women, but she's pretending that the people that are trying to reduce crime, that are doing it for themselves, because she's only used to doing things for herself.
If you're enjoying this crazy story, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because this part is pure drama. Here's the shocking truth about Hillary Clinton. She spent her whole life thinking greatness was something she was born with, that history had already written her name in gold. But fate can be pretty funny. Even with tons of money, non-stop media protection, and super strong connections. Not to mention a husband who could charm anyone. She still messed up the easiest win in American politics. Losing to Donald Trump in 2016 wasn't just a mistake. It completely destroyed her reputation. As Gutfeld and Tyrus joke, her campaign slogan might as well have been "because I said so." Honestly, that would have worked just the same.
So Aaron, that was Hillary at a talk in Manhattan earlier this month. When Martha, is that her name? Margaret Hoover asked her that question about what you have. It was a beautiful dig. Did you see Hillary? Like, what advice would you give to the first woman president? And it's not you, Hillary. It's not you. Whoopsie poopsie, Hillary.
Gutfeld doesn't let Hillary Clinton off the hook for even a second. He calls her the queen of fake realness, the best at pretending to be normal while living far above everyone else. Remember when she said she carried hot sauce in her purse? That wasn't culture. It was a bad attempt at marketing herself. Every time she tried to seem like a regular person, it just reminded everyone how out of touch she was. It's not that she can't understand real problems. It's that she doesn't want to. Her whole life has always been about one thing: power, and her belief that she deserves it no matter what.
Hillary Clinton argues Joe should be, quote, direct and forceful, end quote, against Trump in the CNN debate. Yeah, direct and forceful, just like the noose I put around Epstein's neck. If I did it.
Gutfeld compares Hillary Clinton to that fired coworker who still keeps showing up to meetings like nothing happened. No matter how many times people vote against her, she pops back up with another book, another podcast, or some awkward Netflix appearance. It's like she's stuck in her own rerun, refusing to see that her show ended long ago. She's the politician who won't admit the spotlight's gone, still asking for cheers after the crowd already left. The curtain dropped years ago, but she's still begging for an encore no one wants.
Oh, no.
She's back like a sore on a porn star's lip.
Ew.
Complaining on X about Trump cleaning up D.C., she says, quote, on one hand, Republican officials call themselves war fighters. On the other, they become whiny cry.
And then come the excuses, an endless list that never stops. According to Hillary Clinton, she didn't lose in 2016 because she was a weak candidate. Oh no, it was the FBI's fault, Russia's fault, sexism, Bernie Sanders, voter suppression, maybe even the weather. If a dog barked too loud in Wisconsin, she'd probably blame that too. Gutfeld and Tyrus break down her blame game, showing it's her real trademark. Every time she fails, she rebrands herself like clockwork. Failed health care, reformer turned senator. Beaten by Obama turned diplomat. Trump's biggest loser turned feminist hero. It's the same old act every time. Take failure, repackage it as empowerment, and hope the media buys it again.
President Joe Biden has advanced prostate cancer. I'm sure the announcement had nothing to do with the recently released Her audio and the bombshell book about his cognitive decline. Just like I think how Yoko Ono had nothing to do with the Beatles breaking up. Yeah, and that rash I got had nothing to do with my weekend at the Mustang Ranch. After hearing the news of Biden's cancer, Hillary Clinton posted, quote, wishing you a speedy recovery and let me know if...
But people remember, her fingerprints are all over disasters like Libya, where her cold laughter about Gaddafi still echoes through a broken country. She led the Russian reset, which aged as badly as spoiled milk once Putin showed who he really was. Gutfeld and Tyrus don't call her experienced, they call her reckless. Someone blinded by her own ambition. Even worse, she's obsessed with rewriting how history sees her, like she's constantly editing her own Wikipedia page. But history doesn't change that easily. Instead of becoming the first woman president, she became proof that gender alone isn't enough. Instead of being a feminist icon, she turned into a warning sign about the dangers of entitlement in politics.
White House says no classified information was involved. There's still no word if they'll return to Joe Biden's preferred form of communication. Hillary Clinton weighed in on the Signal story, saying, you gotta be kidding me.
Greg Gutfeld especially loves the irony. Hillary Clinton was supposed to break the glass ceiling, but she tripped before she even got close. She didn't start a movement. She started backlash every time she demanded loyalty instead of earning it. Voters ran away the second she acted like they owed her support. Tyrus sums it up perfectly. Hillary isn't a leader. She's an old brand clinging to past glory. Her books, her speeches, her endless cameos, they all push the same tired story, that she's some unfinished piece of history. But when you look closer, all you find is another recycled memoir, trying to sell yesterday's relevance as today's news.
Austin, the only member of The View not vaccinated for canine distemper, kicked things off by asking Hillary what will happen if Trump is reelected, which is odd because Hillary's an expert on not getting elected. I wonder, does she think it would end our country as we know it?
I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. And I don't say that lightly. You know, I hated losing And I especially hated losing to him because I had seen so many warning signals.
By the time Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus finish, everything's crystal clear. Hillary Clinton won't be remembered as the president who almost made it. She'll be remembered as the politician who had every single advantage: connections, power, chances, and still lost the unlosable. Her legacy isn't greatness. It's arrogance smashing straight into reality. She's like a magician, still pulling the same old rabbit out of the same old hat, pretending it's new magic while the crowd gets bored. Except now the rabbit looks half dead, and everyone's already leaving. The funny part? Gutfeld and Tyrus don't even have to exaggerate. Her own record tells the joke.
Arc Air is designed specifically to prioritize dogs. The problem is they all want to fly with their heads out the window. Adorable, but dead. In Washington, D.C., the giant grocery chain has announced a ban on large bags. Great, now where will I shop? Complains one large bag.
She dreamed of being remembered as a trailblazer in the history books. But instead, she's seen as the biggest self-made disaster of the political world. Hillary Clinton had everything: the name, the money, the loving media, and a whole machine built to help her win. Yet somehow, she still lost to Donald Trump, the guy everyone said could never win. That's not bad luck. That's pure political failure wrapped in denial. History won't remember her as the first female president, but as a warning about entitlement and hypocrisy, talking about democracy while taking money from people who hurt it. As Tyrus says, she kept reinventing herself. Champion of women, of the middle class, of world unity. But the masks kept falling faster every time. Voters didn't trust her then, and they still don't now.
Warning signals that you were gonna lose. Well, too bad you didn't bother to visit the states you ended up losing, you potato-shaped wine bag. But would he even be worse now?
I think that he'd be even worse now.
Yeah.
Because he was somewhat restrained, believe it or not,
Wow.
in the first term by people who he hired because he thought they would go along with it.
In the end, Hillary Clinton didn't lose because America wasn't ready for a woman president. She lost because people were tired of being lectured by someone who thought she was above them. Greg Gutfeld says it best. Her story isn't about empowerment, it's about entitlement. She wanted the presidency handed to her, like every other privilege she's had. But here's the twist: she still doesn't get why she failed. To her, it's always someone else's fault. The press, the Russians, the voters, maybe even fate itself. But her excuse machine is finally broken. And the more she talks, the clearer it gets. She's not a victim of bad luck. She's the creator of her own downfall.
Imagine an inner circle in hell where you are doomed to defend the biggest screw-up of your life. That's where you'll find Hillary.
I won the places that represent 2/3 of America's gross domestic product. So I won the places that are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward, and his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was...
And that's what makes Gutfeld and Tyrus's takedown so satisfying. It's not about being mean. It's about being honest and funny. Hillary Clinton built a huge tower of "I'm destined to win." And when it all fell apart, she tried to sell the rubble as success. But people aren't buying it anymore. Her story isn't about breaking barriers. It's about how far someone can fall when arrogance replaces truth. She didn't just lose an election. She lost her legacy. She traded fame for regret. Instead of being the first female president, she's now the warning story about entitlement and elitism. Every fancy speech, fake comeback, and new excuse just makes it worse. And the final punchline? The more she insists she still matters, the more people laugh at how clearly she doesn't.